and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by Chit Podcast Network. Now today we had the very fun experience of talking to Seraphina Yong, who's an entrepreneur and a Miss Universe Singapore 2024 finalist. And at the same time, we had the very fun experience of welcoming back guest who became a host, Dr. Loretta Chen. And it was such a great experience talking to both of them, especially Seraphina, who actually shared a lot about her experience taking part in Miss Singapore, a lot of things about mental health, learning about how she had to commute between the pageant, her business, and it's just a crazy few months just to, be selected and then taking part in the finals. Without further ado, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter is brought to you by our friends at CityMusic, your one-stop shop for all things music and podcast related right here in Singapore. Whether you're picking out your first instrument, upgrading your setup, or starting a podcast, CityMusic has you covered from guitars, keyboards and amps, microphones and full podcast setups, cameras, lighting and streaming gear. Everything you need to create, record and perform at the highest level is all in one place. They also carry a wide range of microphones for every budget. Some of us at the Chit Chatter even use the Zoom ZDM1, a solid podcast mic that delivers great quality and nearly half the price of many popular options. If you're looking to start your own music or podcast journey, be sure to check out CityMusic's website or head down to their store today. A big thanks to our friends at CityMusic for supporting the Chit Chatter. And now, back to the episode. Now, our guest today is a Singaporean entrepreneur and beauty queen best known as Miss Singapore Universe 2024 finalist and holds the title of Miss Congeniality. Now, she's a former flight attendant and later transitioned into wellness and adventure travel. And she found her own company, SUURV Adventures, a curated wellness and holiday company, and launched her own swimwear label, Jakarta Swim, both of which reflects her deep love for surfing and the ocean. Now, to find out more about experiences, please join me in welcoming Seraphina Yong. Hello.
Hi, Loretta. Hi, Ting Yong. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction.
It's the first time recording a podcast with 3 different time zones.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're in a different time zone too, Seraphina? Because I'm in Hawaii. Hello.
I'm in Switzerland.
Oh my goodness. We are... the KopiBros and Gals is going global, everybody. This is wonderful.
So I just wanted to point out that this is also the first time we have a previous guest that come on as a host. Yeah, because I thought that since we're having a female guest, it will be good to have another female host so that you all can vibe better in case as an uncle or as a little boy, it's very hard for me to vibe with you.
You're doing great, Ting Yong.
I wanted to ask Seraphina, how have you been and what have you been busy with?
Oh, wow. So I have been busy splitting my time between Switzerland and Singapore. Also, I'm learning German now.
Wow.
I'm learning German, and apart from that, I'm focused on building my business in our surfing and wellness holidays.
Oh, sorry. I butchered it by saying SUURV Adventures.
Yes, that's why I said, do you surf? Yeah. So it's okay, uncle, boy. We got it. I got you covered. I mean, it's so exciting to hear that you're learning German and you're in Switzerland. And obviously, when we think of Switzerland, we don't immediately think of the sun, the surf, and the ocean. So we really want to understand, how do you even get here? So we want to understand, really understand the origins of our guest and to take it all the way back to your beginnings, right? Can you share with us, how did you even get here? What was your growing up like and how did you get here today?
Wow. Okay. So I'm right now in Switzerland because my partner lives and works here. To bridge the distance, I am splitting my time between Singapore and Switzerland. And then when I need to host a surf holiday, I would be in Indonesia, right?
Wow.
So yeah. So growing up, I was a very different kid in class. Like, I'm always daydreaming, looking out the window. I cannot focus in class. So but I also had that hunger to want to learn more about the life and perspective outside this little red dot. Yeah,
Wow.
so which then led me to joining the airlines and doing what I do today.
So was beauty and wellness always a part of your life while you were growing up?
Okay, beauty-wise, I've always loved beautiful things. And I think I meant experiences, nature, not just like, makeup, skincare. When it comes to wellness, it's something that I discover along the years, and particularly in this period of my life where I was rebuilding my life from depressive episode. Wellness is something that I believe coexists in 3 different areas. So physical, mental, and emotional. And I mean, if you can can spend time going to the gym, working on your body, your physical, but if you're not slowing down, taking time to be with yourself, then you're not really taking full care of yourself also.
Yeah, no, well said. I mean, the last
Yeah.
podcast I shared with JY and our audience that, I started my fitness journey,
Mhm.
like taking it really seriously as I hit 50, and I've been exercising every single day. And to your point, right, it's so psychosomatic. When you're fit on the outside, the inside, it really goes together. So, I mean,
Mhm.
thank you for that perfect segue. I mean, you have actually been very outspoken about your going through depression. You just mentioned that. And apparently
Yes.
you're also were challenged by cyberbullying. I mean, first off, kudos to you for being an advocate and speaking out. Can you share with us a little bit more about those episodes and really what was that turning point when you said, I need help, that's okay, and I'm going to be courageous and talk about it?
Hey, well, I think before I get into my experience, because it can be quite a lot, I don't want to like
Sure.
trauma dump. But I think what
Sure.
people can take away from what I'm about to share is that there's a core difference between sadness and depression. Sadness reacts to life, and depression overrides your life. What do I mean by that? So everybody goes through moments in life where they can feel sad, or they get into like moments of sadness, whether you lose a loved one, a pet, or like major events in your life, you lose a job. But depression comes in when this sadness starts to
Really
affect your
overwhelm you?
day-to-day living.
Yeah.
Correct. So like you lose interest in things that you used to enjoy. Maybe
Yeah.
you used to enjoy painting, but then you just
Yeah.
stop doing it. And then
Mhm.
you don't eat well, you don't sleep well, you're going through depression. It's no longer
Yeah.
about sadness.
Were there particular triggers, or was it
Triggers.
a specific episode or time in your life that you went through this?
I think it was a build-up of things that I was
Yeah.
suppressing
Yeah.
and not voicing out. So I was very independent. And my years of flying I've gained so much independence that it became who I am, who I was, and I don't know how to ask for help. So like my turning point wasn't a single grand moment or like a light bulb event. It was a series of things that I started taking, like being in nature, doing things that I enjoy, and also like talking to friends, leaning
Yeah.
into friends who reached out.
Mm.
Yeah. So to be open when people reached out to you, let them in.
Definitely, you have to visit me in Hawaii because it's full of nature. And I've also spoken about, these
Yeah.
episodes as well, because my partner actually suicided from depression. I shared with our audience as well. But
Mhm.
so you shared that this is not a single episode, but it sounds as if you've experienced this throughout your career, because it sounds as if you were challenged with that while you were a flight attendant as well. So how did you cope with all of these tensions and anxieties and depression while you are founding your companies, or did the founding of companies come after you've healed yourself and gone through therapy and came out on the other side?
Okay, so I spent about almost a decade flying with Singapore Airlines, and I loved the job. It was one of the best moments in my life. In between, there were life events like a bad relationship. I think probably that because I'm a very emotional person. So like things like that affect me a lot. I felt like as I speak about it now, flying then was like a distraction, and I was suppressing it. I just continue working, and it's so beautiful because I get to be in different countries. So it kind of like distracted me from actually facing what I need to face by managing my emotions, going through it. And then I went on this journey of started discovering myself again. That's why surfing was one of the things that healed me a lot. It taught me resilience because like being tossed by the waves is it's not
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I
you
hear
just
you.
laugh about it, get out and continue. Because surfing gave me so much. Also being in the ocean, being around nature. And it's something that I want to give back by introducing this to more people. And that's how
Yeah.
I founded my swimwear line and surf lots of adventures.
It's true that nature is very healing. So,
It is.
definitely look forward to having you come here to Hawaii and surfing with us and continuing your therapy.
That actually very nicely leads to our next segment, which is I would like to talk about your entrepreneurship journey. I think you have already touched a bit about you founded it because of a love for surfing and giving back to surfing what you thought surfing gave to you lah. Why did you decide to leave the flight attendant or SIA to start your own company?
Okay, very good question. So I left to pursue something that's more aligned with who I want to be. Even though flying was a very comfortable job, I get to travel, I get paid to travel, and there's stable income. As I get older, I realize I want to be on ground more, to spend time with my family and friends. Because I also at one point felt like I've lost touch with Singapore. I don't know what's going on, because I was everywhere all the time. I was searching for something more meaningful and more aligned to who I want to be and where I want to be.
So when you breached this topic with your family and friends, were they supportive?
I can say that my parents had a huge relief because they were constantly worried about me being away, especially in those times where I think there was a period of time where there were news of plane crashes, the plane were missing. Yeah. So they were worried and they were happy that I'm finally home.
But my own observation is that swimwear, surfing and travel is a very packed and very crowded space lah. So how do you ensure that your company or your your brand stands out among all these very different companies?
Wow. Okay. I focus a lot on community events. Yeah. So because I believe I cannot compete on products because people can be inspired or copy products, right? But then if you come in and you bring in your lived experiences, it's something that everybody offers differently. Yeah. So I focus a lot on with swimwear, I have done beach workouts, collaborate with beach clubs. The last one we did was a bar event. So the ticket comes with you work out, you do a bar workout on the beach in the swimwear. Yeah, and then you have brunch, got cold plungers. So it was nice. For me, it's very meaningful to also meet my customers in person rather than they just buy the product online and then I send it to them.
Oh, so it sounds like you lose your fats and then you slowly eat them back within the same process.
But those are healthy brunches prepared by the beach club. All right. The whole point is to bring women and people together, and it's also a chance for them to get out on their weekends, enjoy nature, enjoy some sun, meet new people.
Next time you host it, you must make sure you reach out to me. So if I'm in Singapore, I'll definitely attend, or somewhere around Hawaii. And the next time you should do an event in Hawaii, I'll be there.
Yeah, we should go surfing together. Have you tried?
Yes. I'll tell you all about my experience. But yes, I ripped my knees, but I am still on it. That's a whole other thing. But yes, still on it.
It'll be fun to do it together.
You are not my first two guests to try surfing. Actually, I interviewed a swimming athlete, Kwa Ting Wen, and she has a very funny story about how she went surfing and broke her hand and she had to miss one Olympic. She had to delay her dream of going to the Olympic with her own brother 4 years later just because she surfed and broke her hand.
Yeah, the thing about surfing, correct, it can be quite gruesome when accidents do happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to Seraphina's point, you're really out in nature, so you really have to surrender yourself to nature and have a huge respect for nature as well, especially when you're out there. It's just what's separating you and the ocean and the power is just a little wooden board. I mean, that's it.
So as an entrepreneur, what would you say are some of the toughest decisions or some of the toughest lessons that you have had to learn?
Definitely letting go of things that are not aligned with your values. Yeah. Wow. So I see myself in this entrepreneurship journey, I see myself as two roles. One as a content creator working with brands, and the other as a founder, business owner, building my business. There are times where I need to make decisions, like if I were to accept a campaign or event, am I then losing an amount of time that I can actually put into my business? I can think it in another perspective where, okay, if I go to this event, I can take it as a break from wearing the founder hat and just socialize and be creative again. Yeah. So I think these are the little decisions that are not so little that will ultimately impact how you run your life.
I always feel that as a entrepreneur, one of the most difficult thing is about managing people, right? My own company only got like 6 people. I also find it that each one is giving me a different headache or a different thing to work with lah. So how do you have to balance between like managing people, driving sales, and then at the same time maintaining the image that like I'm running things and people give you the due respect?
I guess the first thing that as a business owner, or I think anybody has to do, is to manage yourself, how you treat people. I think that's the most important thing. And then the rest will just start to flow. How you treat people ultimately says a lot about you as a person. So I think that's the core of how you should be as a person, not just in business or how you go about doing things.
And that's, of course, I mean, now that I know you and I've spoken with you, you're not just a beauty queen, you also have a lot of soul and a lot of depth. Like, I truly mean it. I'd love to get to know you better. And you're also Miss Congeniality, right? So now, changing beats, and now we want to talk about your experience in Miss Singapore, because I have to say, I've done quite a lot of things. I'm a jack of all trades, but I've never been a Miss Singapore, not a Miss Singapore pageant. Neither has Jin Yong, I think. So share with our audience a little bit more about this experience. I mean, what made you this shy? I get a sense you're quite shy and introverted, if not for your career. What would make you, want to participate in the Miss Singapore?
So the thing is, I live by this rule that you are the youngest you are today, and if there's something you want to do it now, because if not now, then when? And this is one thing that I really live by. And I have gone on solo traveling. I've moved out from my parents to live by myself, and then started businesses, and now 2 years ago joined Miss Universe Singapore. It is really that one thing that push me to do what I've done.
And so now at 50, I feel very inspired. Maybe I should go and join as well. But I mean, was it also because they had changed the rules and guidelines of Miss Singapore to allow even like divorcees? And did you jump on that opportunity when you saw like they had become a little bit more accepting of diversity? Was that like that trigger that's like, wow, if I didn't do it when I was 17, I did it when I was 24, let me do it when I was 34? Because you were the oldest finalist.
Yeah, I do really like being called the oldest contestant. I mean, I take it with a lot of pride and grace with it. I think it also shows that regardless of your age, you can really, if you set your mind and heart to do it, you can achieve it. But also, I think the most important thing is that whenever you want to do something, you need to enjoy and have fun in the process. Like I was like a 傻大姐 who went to like this prestigious beauty pageant, and I saw the other women like younger sisters to me. So yeah, just enjoy, have fun, and just be yourself.
Walk us through with our audience as well. What was that initial selection process like, or the audition process? How was that process? Being 傻大姐 amongst all the other 妹妹们, right? And how did you make it to the finals?
Okay, so I remember we had to go for an interview. So I have to submit an application online, and then they will say, okay, to come down for an interview on this day. That year we had like 3 cohorts for interview, and I think I was in the second batch. Then I received an email saying like, okay, you've been selected as one of 15 finalists, and then we need to sign a contract, blah, blah, blah. And I was also managing my business. I have to travel between Singapore and Bali to host surf holidays between Bali and Singapore. So I remember the first one that I hosted in Bali. I returned, I came back to do a photo shoot, and then I hired a pageant coach to train me for my catwalk, because I can't bring myself to show up on stage like walking how I walk, I mean, it's a competition after all, right? So you have to put your best foot forward. But also I was trained to do like Q&A.
Wow.
Question and answer, like the pageant way, the catwalk, choosing my evening gown. And then so there are like different walks for swimwear and evening gown, because the vibe is different, right?
Wow.
And you want to portray a different side of you. So like swimwear, it's fun, it's lively, and then evening would be like elegant, graceful. I have to learn the crash course like in 21 days while also hosting a surf holiday in Bali. So I was like, that was an intense and very fulfilling 2 months.
What else did you have to do in this like intense training process?
Okay, so there was a private coaching that I engaged a pageant coach. She's from the Philippines and she teaches yoga, and also like in Philippines and Thailand, pageant is like a national sport. So like she's very well versed.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So I hope maybe Singapore will get there one day. We don't know, maybe. But I was
Yeah.
very thankful that I get to be trained properly to show up on stage. Lined up a series of like interview, catwalk practices, the choreography of the finals. Yeah, and also like working with sponsors, Orchard,
Yeah.
Scott Center. Yeah.
Did this experience, given who you are and what you've gone through, did this whole experience of the coaching and the training and, all the pageantry, did that change the way you see yourself? And did it change the way you looked at the standards of beauty in Singapore or in the region? Or, did it change your view at all about what a pageant is and what beauty is?
Well, I love that question. So what it made me realize that looking at all the other 14 contestants and myself, I think having gone through that competition pushes you to become or accept. I mean, all of us there has already accepted ourselves. No, this is who I am. Whether it's a label like I'm the oldest, I'm a divorcee, I am fully embracing and accepting yourself. And I think that's the beauty about it. When you fully accept yourself, you just glow. So I think that's all about beauty. I mean, things like skincare, makeup, the clothes you wear, the hairstyle you
Yeah.
do, part of the physical attributes. But if we talk
Yeah.
about things coming from your inner self, your belief system, your values, loving yourself, and then the way you treat people, it's so much more than just. I think beauty is so much more than just physical attributes.
Well said. That pretty much, sums up quite a few questions that Jin Yong had prepared for us as well. That because this is KopiBros and Kopi Gals,
Yes.
I just wanted to little segment with you before I hand over to Jin Yong to ask you, are there any like super fun, super exciting, super candid stories, like people, like backstage, any cat fights?
Cat fights don't have. No cat fights that we have. But oh my god, the rehearsals and the actual finals day was something so memorable because I remember we had to show up. We had our hair done at 313, one of the sponsors, and then we had to travel down to the location with hair rollers on our hair, and then we only take them out before the show.
Oh,
Yeah, and then there was
Wow.
one, the day of the final, everything happened so quickly, like we were running, changing clothes, and no drama. Sorry to disappoint. But yeah.
Damn. And everyone
And then
just
we
hold
had,
hands.
I remember one of the catwalk practices, some of them were working from home, but I think one of the contestants had her laptop on hand while we were doing the catwalk in rounds.
because you have shared quite candidly about mental health, but I think your official quote during the Miss Universe was about advocating for mental health and seeing therapy as a form of strength. So what is a message you hope people can take away from mental health from your story?
Wow. I would say don't succeed publicly and suffer privately. Okay, I think a lot of people think that there's no look to depression or anybody suffering with mental health. People can show up day to day, go to work, accomplish things that just like anybody else do. But then at the end of the day, when you're back home alone in your room or when you go to bed, nobody know what goes on. You could be crying yourself to sleep or just wishing you had someone to talk to. One thing I've learned is, of course, there are also times where I want to shut myself from the world. Yes, I can do that, but that's for me to process it. But once I've done that, then I need to speak about it, talk to people, be open to help, even if just someone is open to just sit with you and just let you cry it out. You don't have to say anything, just be there for you. And that already helps a lot.
Like our parents always tell us that 不要麻烦人家, right? If you can solve things, you solve things yourself, right? And it's a very foreign thing to say that, I call my friend when I need comfort, some solace, somebody to talk to, right? And then if your friends are not that close with you, sometimes you also like paiseh, because this thing called paiseh, don't want to trouble people. Yeah, so I think what you said here is really echoed, like you should be more open towards help. If people, they're really there to show you a helping hand, then I feel that you should be ready to accept that piece of help. Anyone listening who like they still feel stuck in anxiety or self-doubt, what do you think is the number one like step they can take or something simple that they can try today to help them in this, to handle this anxiety and self-doubt better?
Well, anxiety and self-doubt, like imposter syndrome, is something that I struggle a lot with in the first few years of starting my businesses, because you always think like, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What if I don't do it right? What if I disappoint people? Blah blah blah. What I've learned is if you catch yourself in those thoughts, stand out, go and do something, go and work out or do something for a little bit of distraction, because you don't want to be entertaining those thoughts, because it can cripple you, it can stun you from getting things done. So once the moment you catch yourself doing it, go and do something else, come back to it when you feel calmer. And then it's usually when you have more clarity to start getting things done again. Because, when you spend time getting into the loop of feeling anxious and doubting yourself, other people are already doing it.
I read an article that says that sometimes people procrastinate not because they like, oh, I don't want to do it now, right? But because sometimes for some people, procrastination is a form of handling stress. Like let's say today, if I have too many things on my plate, I might just say this one, or maybe I read a contract, I feel that it takes up too much of my brain cell, procrastinate, I settle that one tomorrow. I do what I need to do now, and then like do some other things that will like maybe more auto run one, don't need to take so much brain, like data entry kind of thing. And then you get past the day lah. So I feel that what you say really relatable, because that's what I will do also. If I feel that today too much work, then suddenly something, the boss say, I want this ASAP. I say, your ASAP can tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, it's something that can be done within the next 10 seconds. Get it done first. Get it out of the way. Yeah. So then your list don't look too overwhelming for you to like get stuck.
My last question to you before we hand it to Dr. Chen and the Quickfire is that what is one myth about mental health in Singapore or Asia that you feel that you want to debunk?
Just because a person can show up doesn't mean that they are okay. Like still check in with your friends, your family. Yeah. Especially with social media, everybody looks like they're doing well in life. Or doing okay. Of course, there are people who very openly share about their journey. Everybody has their story and struggles in life. Just because someone looks like they're doing okay in life doesn't mean that they actually are.
It's like having an invisible disabilities, right? Or just invisible certain distress that we shouldn't just assume and just have more empathy. And now we're going to the last segment of our KopiBros and Gals. So we have a round quick on your toes. Sunrise waves or sunset beach?
Sunset beach.
Favorite getaway location?
For now, Lombok.
Lombok. Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Favorite music to listen to when you need to decompress or de-stress?
Peaceful piano.
A city or a country you want to visit but haven't?
Hawaii.
One city.
It's been on my list for a long time.
That is the best answer. So looking forward to hosting you here. Celebrity or public person that inspires you?
Audrey Hepburn.
Oh,
Beautiful.
wow.
So kind, and she loves animals. My cats were walking up and down during this, by the way.
I saw her.
Yeah. I was like trying to tell him like, I'm on a podcast. Solo trip or group retreat?
Group.
Advice you would give to a younger Seraphina?
I wouldn't say that advice, but I'm proud of you.
Oh, so are we. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Kind of kick myself for wanting to ask this question now because it's like midnight in Hawaii. Favorite sinful food? Please don't say all my favorite food like jian or cai tao gui.
McDonald's.
Okay.
For me, it's McDonald's at this moment.
I still got here McDonald's. I can because midnight I can still get McDonald's in
Oh my
Hawaii.
god, McDonald's is so expensive in Switzerland. Yeah. So it's definitely a must that I need to have when I'm back in Singapore.
Oh.
And you get like spicy nuggets, right? We don't get it here.
Yes, we don't get all this here also.
I think I really learned a lot from Seraphina and Dr. Chen. But to close off our episode, can you let our audience know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. By and large, I'm there. My name's Seraphina Yong, SeraphinaYong. And then if you'd like to learn surfing one day, perhaps you've been thinking about it, then you can follow us on Surf Adventures. I have it on my bio as well.
So thank you so much for talking to us and all the best for you.
Thank you, Loretta. Thank you, Jing Yong.